Hello children, in this video lecture I will tell you about different methods of reducing friction. You know that in many situations friction is undesirable and we always want to minimize it. It has many disadvantages. So there are various methods by which we can minimize the friction. The first method is polishing. When we polish a surface, its roughness, its unevenness decreases. And when unevenness decreases, then it becomes smooth, and smoothness reduces friction. We sometimes rub the surfaces with fine sandpaper. The reason is same, in order to reduce the unevenness. Second method to reduce the friction is using the lubricants. When few drops of oil are poured on the hinges of the door starts moving smoothly. Bicycles, motor mechanics uses grease between the moving parts of the machine. All these grease and oils causes the friction to reduce. They reduces the friction and increases the efficiency of the machines. Such oil-like substances which helps to reduce the friction when put on the surface are called as lubricants. So what are lubricants? Lubricants are the oil-like substances which are used to reduce the friction by putting them on the surface. These lubricants may be liquid like oils, they may be semi-liquids like grease, or they may be solids like talcum powder. Oil is an example of liquid lubricant, grease is an example of semi-liquid, and talcum powder is an example of solid lubricant. When we apply lubricant between the moving parts of a machine, what happens? A thin layer of the lubricant is formed between two surfaces. Now, when the surfaces they do not rub against each other, friction is reduced. Interlocking of the irregularities between the two surfaces also reduces and the movement becomes smooth. So this is the advantage of lubricant. Oil greasing results in less wear and tear. When there is less wear and tear, there is less energy wastage and more efficiency of machines. So by applying the lubricants, we can increase the efficiency of the machines. We can save wear and tear of the machine parts. We can also save energy. Sometimes we use solid lubricants also. We can have one example like when we play carom board, we sprinkle talcum powder on the carom board. Do you know what is the reason behind it? By sprinkling that carom board, the friction between the striker and the board gets reduced and the movement of the striker becomes smooth on the board. In certain machines, it is not advisable to use oil as a lubricant. And when oil is not used as a lubricant, air cushion between the moving parts is often used to reduce the friction, like in hovercraft. Compressed and purified air also is a lubricant. I will repeat, compressed and purified air acts as a lubricant. It provides elastic cushion between the moving parts and thus reducing friction. It also prevents dust and dirt from collecting on the moving parts. Another method is ball bearings. I already told you, ball bearings, the rolling friction is smaller than the sliding friction. So we replaced sliding by the rolling by using ball bearings. In cycles also we have seen ball bearings, small ball like structures. In the fans also there are small ball like structures, as you can easily see in this on the screen in the picture. Now there is one other type of friction which we will study in this video lecture, that is a fluid friction. We know that whenever a solid object moves on other solid objects, frictional force arises which opposes the movement. But Consider the case of a fluid. When the object moves through the air, when an object moves through the air also exerts a force of friction, and we call this friction as air resistance. This air resistance opposes the motion of the objects. Like air, water, and other liquids also exerts a force of friction. Like air, water, and other liquids are also exerts friction, which we called as fluid friction. Fluid friction is dependent on three things. जब कोई चीज़ लिक्विड में फ्लूइड में मूव करती है तो वो तीन चीज़ों पे डिपेंडेंट होती है. जब फ्लूइड में मूव करेगी तो फ्लूइड भी क्या करेगा, फोर्स ऑफ फ्रिक्शन अप्लाई करेगा, और वो फोर्स ऑफ फ्रिक्शन तीन चीज़ों पे डिपेंड होता है. नंबर वन, नेचर ऑफ द फ्लूइड, किस तरह का फ्लूइड है जिसमें बॉडी मूव कर रही है. शेप ऑफ द मूविंग ऑब्जेक्ट, यानी कि जो ऑब्जेक्ट मूव कर रहा है फ्लूइड में उसकी कैसी शेप है. एंड स्पीड, और उस ऑब्जेक्ट की स्पीड क्या है. इफ यू विल इंक्रीज द स्पीड ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्ट, air resistance will also increase. There is one activity, you can see it on the screen. In this activity, two large sheets of aluminium foil and thick paper are taken that are identical in shape and size. And now both the sheets are made up of the same material. They have same mass. But now crumble one sheet into a ball and another leave it in the form of sheet. जैसे आप पिक्चर में देख ही रहे हैं, एक शीट को आपने क्रम्बल करके बॉल बना लिया, दूसरे को ऐसे ही रखा. ठीक. Now hold both the ball and the sheet of foil head high and drop them from the same time. एक फ्लोर से ले जाकर आपने दोनों को छोड़ दिया. What you will observe, क्या होगा? Which piece of foil falls with a greater speed? You will find that the piece that has been crumbled into the ball falls with a greater speed. This shows that greater speed means that object must be observing less resistance. जब वो तेजी से बॉल आप कह रहे हैं नीचे आएगी तो इसका मतलब उस पर एयर रेजिस्टेंस कम लग रहा है. और जहाँ पर स्पीड कम है, जो कि शीट है, आपने शीट फेंकी है, वहाँ पर इसका मतलब एयर रेजिस्टेंस ज़्यादा है जो उसकी स्पीड को कम कर रहा है. इन अदर वर्ड्स, फ्लूइड फ्रिक्शन डिपेंड्स अपॉन द शेप ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्ट मूविंग थ्रू द फ्लूइड. We thus realize that fluid friction can be reduced to a greater extent by adjusting the shape of the body. We have also observed that when objects move through the fluid with high speed, large force opposes their motion. They can lose some of their energy to overcome this fluid friction. And to minimize this energy loss, special shapes are given to the objects. You must have seen boats, you must have seen birds. Have you ever observed something common in them? Yes, it is the shape. Shape of the bird, shape of the boat, shape of the fish. They all have a streamlined shape. सबकी shape लगभग एक जैसी होती है. This special shape is called as streamlined shape, as such bodies are called as streamlined bodies. Such bodies, such shape of the body helps the objects to move with greater speed. Such shape reduces the force of friction. Sports vehicles are also designed in a way that air flows smoothly over their surface in such a way that every air particle passes a particular point with the same speed and in the same direction. Such flow is called as streamlined flow. And such bodies are called as streamlined. Such bodies are called as streamlined. You can see it on the screen. There is a picture of various bodies on the screen. having similar shape, and such shape is called as streamline shape, and these bodies are all streamlined bodies. They have spindle shape pointed towards the front. So that's all about the fluid friction. Hope you have understood.